In this lesson, we'll finish up the upper body. So these are going to be the last adjustments we'll make before we move back to the feet. Let's bring back our control curves. And what we want to do is just animate the chest and the head controls. We'll worry about the other controls afterwards once we get the feet back in. And we'll also go to our perspective and graph view and just focus on the rotate Y right now. Okay? So we want to look at the direction in which the arms are swinging to use that as reference to animate the chest control. So since the arm is swinging back, we'll have a little bit of follow through where the chest is rotating in that direction. So let's go to 351 and we'll just rotate the chest back some like that based off of the arm swing. We'll scrub through to see if we like the motion. Alright, and now it needs to swing forward. And it's kind of doing that now, but we need to adjust that key on frame 358 because the chest is moving a little bit too fast there. We want it somewhat following through. So let's take this key on 358 and we'll move it down about 2 frames. Okay. And let's also drop it down some so he's rotating a little bit more to his right. So here's what we get when we hit play. Bam. Alright, now we're starting to see some better movement out of our upper body. We need to add some follow through afterwards. So what we'll do is just go to our last frame and rotate the body in the opposite direction. Okay, and not much. We just want some subtlety in the chest. So here's what we get when we hit play. Bam. Alright, our movement's really coming along. Let's check it out in the perspective. And what we need to work on now is actually having some rotate Z movement. Okay? Because at about this time, the character's going to want to tilt a little bit more to his right. And then when he throws his arm forward, a little bit to his left. And then we'll have some follow through afterwards. So we'll go back to our perspective graph view. And this time, just focus on the rotate Z. Okay? And we're going to have our poses on the same frames as our rotate Y. So we'll go to frame 351. And rotate the character a little bit more to the direction of his right. Bam, and as he throws his hand forward for the victory pose, we'll go to frame 360. Just take this key from 358, move it down to 360, and move his body so it's tilted a little bit more to his left. Okay, and for the follow through, we'll just go to frame 380 and rotate it up. So we get some nice subtlety. So here's our movement. We could even hide our NURBS curves and render off a play blast to see how it's looking. Let's find a nice view to render from. I think about here will be fine. Here it is. Awesome. So we're getting some great motion out of our chest. And with that completed, we can now work on to adjusting the head. So let's go ahead and close this out and move on to the head motion. Bring back our control curves. And all we'll do is rotate the head in the X. And what we want to really strive for is having the head really bang hard when the character throws his arm forward. Okay, so we'll go into our perspective and graph view and focus on the rotate X. We'll also adjust our curve a little bit more. Okay, so for the head motion, as the body's moving back, let's have the head rotate back, and we want it somewhat following through. So on 350, let's go to the rotate X, and we'll rotate the head up. And we could even translate it back in the Z sum and check out our curve in the translate Z. Okay, and it's looking fine. Now the head comes forward for the hit. Bam. Alright, I kind of like that. On frame 356, I think that pose will be fine if we go ahead and hit play. Bam. So now the head comes forward. And for the follow through afterward, we'll just have the head rotate back up again. And we'll have it do that on, let's have that the head come back up on frame 367. So we'll just rotate it up and translate it back slightly too. We'll hit play. Alright, great. Awesome. I think to really exaggerate the nod of the head, I like this motion on frame 356, but I think it could be exaggerated a little bit more. Let's have the head rotate down some more, and we'll translate it forward slightly too. And check out our translate Z motion. Okay, awesome. So with these things done, let's do a play blast. So we'll go ahead and hide our NURBS curves and render off a play blast. Let's try the side view. Here it is. Awesome. Alright, we're getting some nice motion out of our head. Let's try it in another view. Let's go to more of a front view. We're going to close out this play blast and go into more of a front view. Let's try from here. Let's see how the render will look from here. Here it is. Wonderful. I really like that motion. So with all of these things done, that completes the upper body of our character. Now we can go back and work on adjusting the feet. Okay? Adjusting the timing and spacing on those and finishing them up.